Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome back to the Savage Axis Project Rifle series. Now, in a previous episode, I had said I was done with this. I completed the channel gun, and it will be, shown on future videos, but I was done with this series, but I just had way too much fun and decided to do it again. So here's the new Savage Axis Project Rifle. Stay tuned. So like I said, I had so much fun messing around with that channel gun that I just wanted to do it again, but to do it in a little bit different way. Now this will be my third Savage Axis that I have. I've got a 243 Savage Axis 1 hardwood I've had for quite a while, and then I got my Savage Axis 2 stainless in 308, and it turned into my channel gun. Well, I wanted to do something similar again, but go a little different route. And so my thought process when buying this rifle was to do another project rifle with an Axis, but go lightweight. So if you recall, on the 308 channel gun, one of my main concerns was the flimsy stock, and I wanted to kind of accurize it, but really just make it more sturdy and rugged. And so I mixed up rockite, poured it into the barrel channel, into those pockets, drilled holes through the baffles, and I even did a little bit of that on the recoil pad, kind of turned it upside down, poured some of that rockite inside to kind of counterbalance the weight. And I even stuffed some material in here on that channel gun just to give it a little extra weight. And it definitely overall added, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. Made the gun much more sturdy. And then I proceeded to do the rest of the things to the gun, which I showed on there. And it's a great gun, it's a great cartridge, 308. I got the Arkin scope on it. Now my original intention was to use that particular gun to test out different scopes, and I still could do that, but I really like that Arkin, and so it hasn't left the gun since I put it on there. But I'm a big fan of that rifle, and I had a really good time producing it. And I wanted to do something similar, but with a more lightweight version of it. And so I thought about getting another 308 and doing something similar, but more of a lightweight version, lighter scope, not pouring the rockite in the stock. But I ended up settling on this rifle. Now this is an 18-inch barrel, and it's in the cartridge of 350 Legend. So this is gonna be for hunting, of course, and it's gonna be for short distances. If I'm in the woods hunting, if it's real dense woods, and I didn't feel like I was gonna have more than a 100-yard shot. It's a bigger diameter bullet, gonna be a bigger hole. And I really like what I see with the 350 Legend. If you think about a bow and arrow, you think about a muzzleloader, you think about shooting, a handgun for deer hunting, if you think about shooting a slug out of a shotgun, this is in that territory, but definitely better. Definitely an upgrade to any of those things, I would say. And really, if you look at the ballistics of a 350 Legend, it's kind of like a 357 mag, but even more, like on steroids. So it's more powerful than a 357 mag, and I'm just pretty excited to finally have one. Let's talk a little 350 Legend here. I'm going to show you some of the ammo I'll be shooting. These are some Full Metal Jacket 145 grain from Winchester. These are some 160 grain Power Max bonded. That's a hollow point bonded bullet. These are 170 grain, I believe, TSX bullets made by Underwood Ammo. And then these are, I believe, 250 grain subsonic loads from Hornady. I will tell you that it and the 204 Ruger are the two cartridges I just don't plan on reloading for. I'm just going to shoot factory ammo for now. It could always change. But anyway, excited to shoot these. By the way, one reason I love 350 Legend, ammo's cheap, especially this. It's just ridiculously cheap. If you're looking to sight your gun in, you can do it really cheap. Looking to plink or just shoot at targets, there you go. But this hunting ammo should be fun to test out. Might as well do some size comparisons. Here's the 223 next to the 350 Legend. Here it is next to a 45-70 and a 410 shot shell. Here it is next to the 400 Legend. And here it is next to the 30-30 on the left and the 300 Winchester Short Magnum on the right. I've been impressed with the 350 Legend since it came out. It's very similar in performance to a 30-30, which is very popular around where I live, usually lever action 30-30s. Though I respect lever actions and though I respect the 30-30, it's just not my cup of tea. And I thought if I could get something with similar performance in a bolt action rifle that's really lightweight, that would be awesome. And so I did. And so I picked it up. And here it is. Now, it's a little different than I thought I was going to get. And I bought this sight unseen thanks to Craig who ordered it for me. But I didn't actually, there's a few things about this gun I wasn't fully aware of. I did not know it was going to have this new, I think it's called the Ergo stock. Now this is a Savage Axis 1, so it doesn't have the AccuTrigger, but it does have an updated stock, which I'll get to that in a second. But I didn't realize it was going to have that stock. And also, and I'll show a close-up of this, but even though this is an 18-inch barrel, it's a very thick barrel. Not like a heavy barrel or a bull barrel, but just definitely like a medium contour barrel. So it actually weighs more than I thought it was going to weigh. When you go to their website and you look up the Axis 1 350 Legend, with a 22-inch barrel, it says it weighs just under 6 pounds. Well, I weighed this gun since I got it home. It actually weighs 6.5 pounds. Interesting. Having said that, I'm pretty sure it's the stock and the little bit heavier barrel. It's still a real compact, nice rifle that's still pretty lightweight. 6.5 pounds isn't bad. But getting to this stock, I will say it's much more rigid, much more sturdy than the other stock. And so this is a trade-off I'm willing to accept. In fact, I like it a lot better. It's nice and grippy, good recoil pad, and it doesn't have near the flex up here on the front that the other Axis 1 did. So this actually is an upgrade itself. And even though it's not going to be, it's about a ½ pound heavier than I thought, it's still lightweight, but having that short, heavier contoured barrel than what I was expecting, it should help with accuracy. So I'm going to tag this into the rest of my Axis Project Rifle series. And I'm definitely going to do some upgrades to this rifle, but still try to keep it at the same weight and not really much heavier. Now, obviously, when I put the scope on it and the rings, that'll add some weight to it. Now, I've been thinking about this for a while, and so I have everything ordered, and you can't see it, but it's all right here. In fact, I'll just put it on the screen as I'm talking. But everything is ordered, and I'm ready to go. The last piece of the puzzle was me going and getting the rifle today. Before I start putting this stuff on, I'm going to clean this gun. I'm going to take it completely apart, clean it inside and out. I'm going to put it back together and retorque it. The gun is fairly dusty and dirty and definitely needs a good cleaning. I even looked down the barrel and it's, you can tell they shot it a few times just to make sure it was functional. Definitely needs cleaned out. I always clean a gun before I ever shoot it. One last thing I'll say before I get started that just jumped out to me when I first got it is the trigger pull. Now, one of the upgrades I have sitting here is going to fix this issue, but this trigger pull is 7.5 pounds. I got my trigger pull meter and I pulled it and it was like right around 8 pounds. I thought, no, that can't be right. Did it again, 7.5, did it again, 7.75. So I'm just going to be conservative and say 7.5 pounds, but this is a terrible trigger. It's set from the factory, it's 7.5 pounds. But luckily we're going to fix that today. All right, just to show you what I'm going to do, this here is from Desh Industries on eBay. I've already bought 2 of these. This will be my 3rd time buying them. It's a bolt lift kit. So you take out one washer that's on the firing pin and you put these 3 washers with that kind of a ball bearing thing in the middle, and then you add this to the outside and it actually will reduce a little bit of the bolt lift. They advertise like 20 to 50%. I'd say definitely 20%, maybe a little bit less. It's pretty cheap though. It's cheap, it's not hard to install, and it does take away a little bit of that, effort that you got to use to open the bolt lift. This is from Kenny's. It is a extractor and ejector kit. I don't know if you can see it here, but kind of an upgrade. It has a bigger detent ball behind the extractor, new springs for both, and then a new ejector. Now this is made simply if you're having trouble getting the cartridge to extract and eject. This is just simply made to be an upgrade for that. I'm going to go ahead and switch it out. I've bought 2 of these as well. I actually bought these fairly recently and put them in my other 2 Savage Axis. I would throw this out there that you might want to really think about if you want this or not, because it does have what I consider to be kind of a bad side effect. On the ejector part of it, it's a little bit long. It's definitely bigger and stouter. And with the new spring, it's pretty sturdy. It's a little bit much. And so the first time after you've put it in and you go to cycle the bolt, you're going to realize you got to push a little bit to get the bolt to go down, simply because of the ejector. So if you're looking for a buttery smooth action, this is not going to help you there. If you're having trouble extracting, of course, this would help. But what I do is I just install it knowing that all the parts are kind of upgraded and beefier. And then I can put like a spent case on the bolt, kind of get it in there, push on the ejector, get it underneath the extractor, and do that like 200 times. And it'll soften it up a little bit and make it a little bit better. But just be aware that it does add some resistance when you close the bolt. Now on my 308 channel gun, I didn't buy any kind of trigger because it has the AccuTrigger, which I do like, and it's easy to adjust. On my 243 hardwood, I did buy this, and so this will be the second time I've bought this. And it's just simply a trigger spring kit. This one actually comes with 3 different springs of different weight, and you can go down to 1.5 pounds. So I'll probably mess around with this. It also has these little washers that come in here, and it's made to put inside on either side of the trigger housing to keep it from having all the wobble. So cheap way to take down that 7.5 pound trigger pull. Now this is also from M-Carbo, and apparently I'm not going to need it. So this is a stock reinforcement kit for the Savage Axis 1, and it's made to put in the stock, and it kind of stiffens it up, taking away that flimsy stock. But like I said, I didn't realize on this gun that it was going to be a different stock, and so I'm actually not going to need this because the stock has already been upgraded and improved. However, this was cheap, and I'll keep it in case I ever need it. Now, you already saw that I've got a loophole scope, and here it is. It's going to be a 3x9x40 with the Hunt Plex scope. So it's not just a standard duplex, but it's a Hunt Plex. Now, going for lightweight, I could have went with the 2x7x30 instead of the 3x9x40, but I just felt like I wasn't going to be happy with it. Especially when I'm trying to sight things in or shooting off the bench, I just feel like I'm really going to like that 3x9x40 more. And it's only 2 ounces difference. So I'm willing to give up 2 ounces to get this scope. And of course, I bought a scope cover for it and some tally rings. The base and the ring combined. It's kind of an integrated base and ring. Used them before on my 270 short mag, and I like them. And then I decided, you know what, we're going for lightweight. Let's get this Butler Creek Featherlight sling. So there you go. That's what I will be doing and adding to this rifle. Get it all cleaned up. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it was really nasty coming out of the box. Been thoroughly cleaned inside and out. And I've got the trigger spring kit installed. And it's around 2.5 to 3 pounds now, instead of 7.5. So the trigger pull is much better. Oh yeah, much better. This shorter barrel that's a little bit thicker and beefier might be pretty nice to get threaded for a suppressor later on. There is the remnants of the bolt lift kit and the ejector and extractor kits, the old pieces that I don't need. Apparently I did not record the bolt lift kit, or at least most of it, but it's okay. But you can see that little spacer in there. And then you can see the extractor and ejector. So that kit is installed and the bolt lift kit is installed. All right, so we will continue this in a part 2. Went to put the scope on and the rings are not going to work. And for 2 reasons. One, I got low rings and apparently I'm going to have medium rings. But these screw holes are 840 instead of 648. I thought all the Savage Axis 1 had 648 and the Savage Axis 2s had 840. But apparently all the new Axis 1s are going over to 840 as well, but it's not, widely reported. It's not shown on their website, so not really sure about that one. But screw holes didn't work, and it's too low anyway, so gonna get a different set of tally rings with 840 screws and medium height. So on the next episode, I'll get the scope mounted, and we'll go out and shoot. Got the rifle all cleaned up. I'll be pulling those stickers off here in a second. Got the rifle all clean. Got the bolt lift kit, the trigger spring kit, and the extractor and ejector kit put in. And pretty happy with the gun overall. So stay tuned for the next episode. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. More videos like this coming out. Share this video if you think it's worth sharing. Comment below. Do you have a 350 Legend? What about this new Ergo stock Savage Axis 1? Any thoughts? What about the Loophole 3x9x40 VX Freedom? Any thoughts on any of those topics? Leave a comment. And until next time, take care.